What if the data you encrypt today becomes readable tomorrow? That question is why quantum computing has moved from research headline to board-level cyber risk. For businesses, this matters now because customer records, contracts, financial data, and intellectual property may need to stay secret for years, not just until the next software update. A traditional computer uses bits that are either 0 or 1. A quantum computer uses qubits, which can represent multiple possibilities at once. That strange behavior is called superposition. It lets quantum systems explore many paths through a problem in parallel instead of checking one answer at a time. That does not mean quantum computers are faster at everything, but for certain math problems, especially the ones behind common encryption methods, the speed difference could be dramatic. So, the cyber risk is very specific. The same breakthrough that could help science and logistics could also weaken the encryption many businesses rely on to protect sensitive information. One of the biggest concerns is called harvest now, decrypt later. The idea is simple. Steal encrypted data today, then wait until better quantum tools make it readable. An attacker does not need to break your encryption this year. They only need to capture valuable data now and store it for the future. That is especially serious for information with a long shelf life, like patient records, product designs, legal agreements, merger plans, or government-related data. If that information is still sensitive 5 or 10 years from now, a delay in protection today can become a major breach later. So, why are so many businesses still unprepared? One reason is timing. Quantum risk can feel distant, even though the exposure starts long before the technology is fully mature. Another problem is expertise. Most organizations do not have teams that can map where vulnerable cryptography lives across apps, vendors, devices, and archived data. Cost also slows action. Leaders worry that replacing encryption sounds expensive, disruptive, and hard to justify against more immediate threats. But waiting has a cost too. The longer you postpone inventory, planning, and migration, the harder and riskier the transition becomes. Cybersecurity services are already adapting. The first focus is quantum-resistant cryptography, often called post-quantum cryptography, which is designed to stand up against future quantum attacks. They are also running forward-looking risk assessments to identify where vulnerable encryption protects the most critical and longest-lasting data. Another response is training. Security teams, developers, and decision-makers all need to understand what changes are coming and how to prioritize them. And because risk often sits outside your walls, vendor management matters too. If your partners are not preparing, their exposure can become your exposure. Imagine a healthcare provider whose encrypted patient records are copied during a breach. The files may look useless today, but medical data can stay sensitive for decades. That makes healthcare a perfect harvest now, decrypt later target. Once stronger quantum capabilities arrive, years of stolen records could suddenly become readable. Now, picture a bank facing a phishing campaign tied to weak identity controls and aging security practices. Quantum risk does not replace these threats. It raises the stakes around them. If criminals can exploit people today and break old protections tomorrow, the damage path gets wider. Fraud, exposure, and trust loss all become more expensive. That is why these examples matter. Quantum risk is not just about advanced science. It amplifies the business impact of the security gaps companies already have. A smart response starts with awareness. Make sure executives, IT leaders, and risk owners understand that quantum preparedness is a business continuity issue, not just a technical curiosity. Then move to assessment. Inventory, where cryptography is used, which systems depend on it, what data has long-term sensitivity, and which vendors touch that data. Next comes planning. Set priorities, identify systems that will be hardest to migrate, and align budgets and timelines before you are forced into a rushed response. After that, begin implementation. Introduce quantum-resistant standards where appropriate, update policies, and test changes in stages instead of trying to replace everything at once. Finally, keep monitoring. Standards will evolve, vendors will mature at different speeds, and your roadmap should be reviewed as regularly as any other major cyber risk program. This is not happening in a vacuum. Governments and standards bodies are already publishing guidance to help organizations prepare for a post-quantum future. Federal agencies, international groups, and industry frameworks are pushing organizations to review cryptographic dependencies and plan transitions early. That alignment is about more than compliance. When your roadmap follows recognized standards, decisions get clearer, vendor conversations get easier, and resilience improves across the business. The key message is simple. You do not need to panic, but you do need to prepare. The organizations that start now will reduce future exposure and avoid rush decisions later. If your business is preparing for quantum-era cybersecurity, Computabilities can help you assess risk, build a practical roadmap, and strengthen your security posture. Reach out to Computabilities for a discovery call or expert guidance.